Well, it's Outlaw Worldwide, and he has millions of people that listen to his sermons and watch what he has to do. He's a very popular pastor. Reverend James Manning is chief pastor at Outlaw World Missionary Church. Manning graduated from the College of New Rochelle with a Bachelor of Arts degree and continued to the Union Theological Seminary in the city of New York, where he is awarded Master of Divinity. Manning also holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree from Theology Seminary and unaccredited educational institution. Manning achieved some controversy in 2008 presidential election after he posted several sermons of his that were harshly critical of Democratic candidate Barack Obama on the website YouTube. So that's kind of the view of him from Wikipedia. But you never know about Wikipedia. They got my name spelled wrong, and half the stuff on there is a lie about me. So we have the man himself, who I think's very focused, articulate, and also very angry. In fact, early on, he was really critical of Obama, and I wasn't sure about Obama. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Bush, and a lot of stuff Obama said he wanted to do, I agreed with, but then he's lied about everything, and now his approval rating's gone from 84 in a Rasmussen poll to 49. Nobody's has ever fallen that fast. Now it's coming out that the majority of people think he was really born in Kenya. He's such a liar. Who knows if that's true? We just covered it with Mr. Berg earlier. They won't release the original birth certificate. Anybody who criticizes him gets called a racist. It's creating all this racial division. You know, this is getting really scary. So I wanted to get the view from a critical black American pastor of Barack Obama on multi-fronts. We've had people on, black Americans, who like him. We have people like KRS-One, hip-hop sensation. Day one said, I see a scam coming a mile, away. And as I said when Obama first got elected, I said, I feel bad because when it turns out that this guy is a fraud like most politicians, it's going to be turned into a racial issue. So to give us his take on this is a fellow who's ended up being all over Fox, CNN, you name it. Quite a big controversy. Dr. James David Manning. Pastor, it's good to have you on here with us, sir.
Well, Alex, it's good to be here as well. I'm really honored to be on your broadcast. I've heard a lot about you, and I've seen what they've done to you on YouTube. I've heard all about it, but I'm delighted to be on the broadcast today. Let me also add this. I am traveling, and I'm not in my office, and so I had to stop at a restaurant to make this call, so you may hear some exterior noises.
I totally understand. You're on the road, came on short notice. We'll have you back up from the studio in the near future. You got the floor, sir.
Well, again, your intro kind of says it all. I was very much aware of Obama from day one, if you will, checking out him as a person, what his spirit was all about. And was able to deal with that. But I first began to try to deal with the African-American or black community, whatever it is that, black folks prefer to be called. After I realized who he was and that the presidential campaign was underway, I tried to say to the black folk, especially since the church that the Lord has let me pastor for the last 27 years is in Harlem, New York. And, of course, black folk had been so enamored with Bill Clinton and had labeled him Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou, had stated that he was the first black president, and no black president could ever be better than Bill Clinton. And then, of course, back in 2001, the Black Caucus, Congressional Caucus of the Black of Congress, got together and put together a resolution there in the House determining that Bill Clinton was the first black president. And then I saw them turning from their commitment to the Clintons to Obama. And I am not a Clinton supporter. I was very much against Clinton. The entire 8 years he was in office, people just didn't pick up on me the way they did with Obama. But I was trying to say to the black people there in Harlem and nationwide that it represented a sense of absence of loyalty, the absence of integrity, and it just kind of mushroomed from there as I began to watch the campaign unfold.
Well, atlah.org, ATLAH.org, is the website where folks can actually watch and listen to the unedited sermons, the mainstream media has taken out of context and kind of boiled down and misrepresented some of what you've said. Here in your own words, sir, it's got international attention. What is your basic take on Obama, what he's done, where this is going? I found sermons of you 9, 10, 11 months ago saying this is going to end in disaster when the media was acting like Jesus had returned and we were all saved. How did you instinctively, or I guess spiritually, or from research, know this was going to end so bad? Because it really is, I'm following the trajectory. He is falling like a shooting star right now.
Well, I was spiritually aware of him, Alex, early on. Biblically, from the time I was a young boy growing up down in North Carolina, hearing the preachers preach about one that was going to come and would purport to solve all the world's problems, and that the world would be so enamored and in love with him that they would indeed worship him, and that he would be extremely charismatic, that he would be, he would be handsome, and the whole world would bow down before him. I heard these sermons preached years ago when I was just a boy. And when Obama came, I realized that he fit the bill of the sermons that had been preached years earlier by preachers who had no idea who this person would be, what race they would come from, or even what period in which he would show up.
Now, are you saying he's a prototype, as the Bible says, mini Antichrist spirit, or are you saying he could be the big one?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. And while you're right about his following the trajectory of Obama's rise and fall, he has fallen in points over the last couple of weeks, more specifically. But Alex, I'll say this to you, and be well advised, that the grip that Obama has on the world, the grip that Obama has on the white liberals, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's true.
The grip that Obama has on the black people will not wane. Now, he has lost some points, to be sure. Media has done just a little bit of a turn on him, not much, not enough to make a real difference. As you know, they worship this man. I mean, they really...
But you're saying he can certainly pull some rabbits out of hats and stage some crises. So where do you see this going with Obama? What's the bottom line?
I see it going into a revolution or a civil war in America. That's exactly what's on the agenda, and that's the only thing that's going to get our nation back. You are not going to get this nation back from Obama through the vote. I can tell you that now, through putting in congresspersons, putting in senators, and rearranging the House in 2010. You're not going to take this nation back from Obama. He has deeply implanted inside people in strategic locations, offices, etc., that will make it nigh impossible to take this nation back. It's going to have to be.
Well, that's the thing, is that he is federally seizing giant corporations, having Homeland Security take over all the federal agencies. He's seizing, he really is grabbing control of everything. So even if people wake up, it won't matter. So you're saying he's going to attempt to set up a dictatorship?
The only thing that he has not done yet, he has done, we've seen the seizing of General Motors. He wants health care. Now, if he can get health care, 1/6 of the American economy, and then he controls everybody's lives. Senator Orrin Hatch said the other day in the Senate Finance Committee, where they were trying to put together a bill to present to Obama, the long-legged Mac Daddy, that's what I call him, that he was so ticked off with what they were strategizing to do there in that Senate Finance Committee, he walked out of there. And what he said, and he did not mince his words, what he said was that they were really trying to propose a plan that would be a government takeover. They're not looking just for health care for the 46 million people that don't have health care. Obama wants a complete government takeover of the entire health care industry. At that point, he says, who lives, who dies.
Well, look at the cap and trade, where the feds can take over any business or even private home. That's in the bill. And then Obama lies and says it isn't in there. I mean, this is crazy.
Well, if you give him cap and trade, where he controls the energy. He can control any business, walk into any business, shut it down at any time he wants, or funnel billions of federal dollars into any business he wants to funnel it into. How are you going to get him out by voting? You can't do that. I mean, he'll control everything. The only thing he hasn't started doing yet, which I suspect will happen in not too many days or months, will be the beginning of the arresting of people or people being pursued by IRS investigations. That's next on the horizon.
Well, Pastor, actually, during the campaign, you probably know in Missouri and other states, they would go on the news and say, if you lie about him and we're going to decide, no judge or jury, the police are going to arrest you. And now they're trying to pass the hate crimes law where they arrest you for your speech.
Yes, absolutely. That's next. That's the thing. One of the things I'm concerned about, you know, as I preach and speak, I mean, I'm a prime candidate to be hauled off to jail. I mean, kick my door in the middle